Hello, Awakened Creators. Amanda here for another Real Talk session. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some things that creative flow is not, so that you can stop beating yourself up, feeling and thinking that you are not in a state of flow. So we're going to talk today about what creative flow is not, so that you can get some clarity and hopefully help yourself feel a lot better about the progress that you're making on your creative journey. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Here at Awakened Creators, we do the inner work necessary to do the outer work that we love, and I am so excited to be a part of your creative journey. If you find value in today's video, I would love if you would join the Awakened Creators family and consider subscribing. So without further ado, let's get this real talk on. So anytime that I feel like talking about creative flow, which is a huge part of what Awakened Creators is here to share and educate us all on, there's a lot of misconceptions, I feel, when it comes to what creative flow is or isn't, and are you in it or not in it. So I thought it would be helpful for us to have a real heart-to-heart conversation about what creative flow isn't. So creative flow, despite what greater society would like to have us think, is not 24/7 production. It is not creating every day, although you may do that, but being in creative flow does not predicate that you are in a state of constant output with your creative expression, that you are always painting, always drawing, always producing something. That perspective, again, is very just Western, very old, patriarchal kind of like work ethic attitudes that just really do not apply to true creative flow, which I'll talk about a little bit later, what it is when you are in flow. But creating every day is not a prerequisite. It is not necessary to be either saying that you are in a state of flow only when you are creating would be a false statement, and something that I think is unfair to the truth of the creative flow cycle and how it moves, and that all parts of the creative flow cycle are necessary and they are all part of flow, not just the action piece or manifestation piece where you're actually producing the work. If you're interested in learning more about like the basics of creative flow, what elements are involved, I will link to a video here about that. So the other thing that creative flow is not, that you might be telling yourself and making yourself feel bad, is that creative flow is not being completely free of creative blocks. Creative blocks are a natural and normal part of your creative journey. Remember, the creative journey is a spiritual journey. This is one of the fundamental things that we teach here at Awakened Creators. And you cannot have a spiritual journey without having some obstacles thrown your way, showing you where you are out of alignment with the truth of who you are. Creative journey is exactly that. It's going to show you aspects of your creative experience when you are believing things or thinking things that are not in alignment with the truth of who you are or your heart. This is why I am constantly talking about staying in alignment with your heart, turning to alignment with your heart. It has nothing to do with like being happy all the time, but it has to do with being in a state of love towards yourself and compassion for yourself, so that when your creative blocks do come up, and they will come up, you can actually see them as the great gifts that they are on your journey. They are intended for you to grow and expand, to release what's no longer serving you, and to allow you to propel yourself forward in a state of greater freedom and happiness along your way. If you're interested in learning more about getting aligned to your heart and staying aligned to your heart, I have a free heart alignment creative ritual guide where I will explain to you 3 steps for getting attuned to your heart space so that you can create more authentically and enjoy your creative journey a lot more. So just to recap, remembering that creative flow does not mean that you are in a state of creating every single day, although you may. That is not a prerequisite, and all aspects of the creative flow cycle, including rest and including inspiration, are all valid parts of the process, not just physical manifestation or output of your creative expression. And of course, that creative flow does not mean you are never faced with creative blocks or experience difficulties. Always remembering that the creative journey is a spiritual journey and that these blocks are opportunities for massive growth if taken from the right perspective. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you'd like to learn more about creative flow, leave me a comment below. How do you normally feel when you are creating? Do you feel like you are in a state of flow or not? If you have any questions for me, I'd love to answer them. Otherwise, I will see you next week when we have another Creative Real Talk session together. I love you. Keep creating from the heart.